Hello mortals, and welcome to my channel. I'm Marluxio, and today we're going to... Oh, hello dear. No, now's not the time for you to come out. You need to wait. I have to set you up. Now, go on, Shu, get out of the frame. Thank you. And today, we're going to talk about some of your waifus. Now today we're going to talk about maids. No, not this garbage! I'm talking about a Japanese maid. A thick, Japanese maid. If you haven't realized by now, I'm talking about Iroha from the Samurai Shodown series. And before we rip off the close of this video, why don't I give you some context for this thick maid waifu and the game she hails from. Samurai Shodown is a game that does its best to mimic a samurai duel. There's no combos. This game is very neutral focused. Most high-level games end in a timeout, with no KO, due to the footsie and mind game-focused gameplay the game requires. Thick, subservient, and graceful as a crane, Iroha dotes on her master, and literally only picks up her blades to protect and serve him. Iroha first debuted in Samurai Shodown 6th, the 10th installment to the series. Iroha is actually a crane, so for all you who made fun of the other mortals that have monster girl waifus, shame on you! You want to do it with a crane, man. I mean, at least those guys' animal girls are magical animals. But wait, that's not true! Because Iroha is a magical crane that transforms into a woman for her master. Iroha, like many characters in the Samurai Shodown series, is based on a theme that is usually based off of Japanese folklore, or a historical character, or even card games. Iroha is based off of the Japanese folk tale Tsuru no Ongaishi. Translation: the crane that returned a favor. That's right everyone, it's story time. In this tale, a man saves a crane from hunters. The man then heads home, and that night, a gorgeous woman shows up at his door, telling him she's his wife. Rather than be uncomfortable, a stranger found their way to his home and is claiming to be his wife. He tells the woman he won't be able to support her, but she says she has a bag of rice that will fill their stomachs. An infinite bag of rice. One day, the maid wants a weaving room, and the husband makes one. She tells him not to peek in the room no matter what, to which he agrees. She shuts herself up in the room for 7 days. On the 7th day, she comes out skinnier than usual, with a beautifully weaved cloth, and hands it to the man, telling him to sell it, which he does for a very high price. Now wealthy, the wife goes back in the room, telling him not to peek again. Well, I guess he was just horny as one day, or very curious, because he peeked anyway, and saw that his wife wasn't a wife, she was a crane, plucking out her own feathers to weave the amazing cloth. The same crane he saved all that time ago. The crane admits to being the crane he saved, and said she wanted to repay him by being his wife. But now that he knew her true identity, she couldn't stay with him any longer. Classic superhero conflict. Hands him the cloth to remember her by, and flies away. What's the moral of the story?
Bestiality.
Bestiality. Wait, what? No! Once we make a promise to someone, we must keep it. There are other versions of the story, as it is a folk tale, but this is what Iroha is based off of. Now, while there are indeed other hot characters in this series, like Nina and Shiki, Iroha definitely is one of the most sexualized characters in the series. I mean, look at her choice of clothing. As a matter of fact, Iroha's conception began thanks to the developers wanting to add an amorous character, and she was designed to be a mostly nude character. However, her image changed when they added the crane motif and Yamato Narashiko.
Oh jeez, he's speaking that moon speak again.
Silence, mortal. Pacing is key. Iroha is very popular in Nihon, showing up in multiple dating sims games such as the Queen's Blade series, Neo Geo Heroes Ultimate Shooting, and her own mobile game, made by Iroha. It's intriguing how popular this character became since her debut was in one of the Samurai Shodown installments that didn't exactly fly off the shelves. Iroha is now at the making of this video, available in the newest installment in the series for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles as DLC. Nobuyuki Kuroki, the artist and director of the newest installment to the series, was against her inclusion to the base roster of the game as he felt it would clash with the game's atmosphere, which I can see where he's coming from. At least she came back. Iroha uses 2 butterfly blades in combat. She also fights using crane style as shown by her pose and walking animations. Well, hopping animations. Crane style is a fighting style that has you maintain perfect balance even whilst evading attacks. A true crane-style fighter can interpret multiple stimuli and fire precise muscle contractions with little to no effort to counter movement and stay balanced. All this while fighting characters like a guy with 7 swords, or this guy with a pillar. As a character in the Samurai Shodown series, she's capable of doing things such as the Isen technique, tossing her own feathers out as projectiles, mocking Sonic, and becoming one of those fairy launcher things. She's also capable of suplexing you into the ground when unarmed. Her super special attack is also part of what makes this character even more sexualized. Pulling right out of the tail, she takes the opponent behind shoji doors, saying, "No matter what, please don't look." You see her rip off her clothes, beat the ever-loving shit out of whatever poor samurai schmuck she's fighting, with the last hit being her turning into a crane before the finishing blow. Iroha really pulls off the short hair look, which isn't really that important since, you know, in the new game there's side boob everywhere and more cheeks than Sandy's Family Reunion. And due to her bouncing on one leg, everything is constantly bouncing. Nice jiggle physics, by the way, Sam Show devs. It makes me wonder if the new design was to please a more modern master. I mean, her measurements are bust 91, waist 59, and hips 85, and she's only 160 centimeters tall, which translates to 5 feet 4 inches in America. Under the maid uniform is just a black unitard, and that's the way I like it, for easy access. I mean, I bet her master likes it for easy access. The master Iroha constantly refers to is actually the player. Yeah, that's right, she breaks the fourth wall. Before every fight, she looks at the screen and waves or calls out to you before you begin your match, making it more painful to watch Haomaru or Darly Dagger cut her in half when you were too impatient and just threw out a heavy slash. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, Marlux, she's a Godere like Albedo. And to that I say, no. Iroha is not a mere dere. The second motif Iroha is based off of is Yamato Nadeshiko, or personification of an idealized Japanese woman. Also known as the epitome of pure feminine beauty, exuding traits like poised, decorous, kind, gentle, graceful, humble, patient, virtuous, respectful, benevolent, honest, charitable, pious, and faithful. That's right, this waifu opens a can of thesaurus on yo ass. So I suppose if I had to put a dere label on her, I'd call her a dere, the lovey-dovey one. Deres are the sweet and loving waifu characters who are joyful, energetic, and complete with kindness. Most of them are on the cute side, more than the grab your favorite lotion side of attractive women. Deres usually create stories in anime and games with a lack of conflict due to their perfect personality. I've mostly observed them in slice of life anime, which would fit for Iroha because in each game she's in, she's really just a wife for her master, and picks up her butterfly blades when she thinks it'll please her master. She's definitely devoted, but not Godere devoted. This character gets a lot of flack for being a fan service character, even bringing about a bit of controversy in the Sam Show community. It's a pretty stupid controversy, but let me just say this in closing. The definition of fan service is the inclusion in a work of fiction of any material, usually sexual or racy material, which has no relevance to the storyline, but is designed merely to excite the viewer. Iroha is a character in a video game with a cast of many other characters. Samurai Shodown demonstrates that they don't need to add fan service into their game with other character designs for characters like Chan-Chan, Nakoruru, Charlotte, and Darly. But they decided to add her in anyway. Sure, maybe it's to lure in a certain kind of crowd. That was definitely their original thought process. But Iroha evolved into something more, and once you have more context for this character, she seems a lot less fan service and more like just a visually appealing fighting game character. You don't have to like this character, but you shouldn't shame people who do, nor should you panic about a character who is more scantily clad than others standing out for being more scantily clad. So to everyone who looks at Iroha and says, drink water, I say, go fuck yourself, you condescending prick. Whoa, no, this is a moral moment. To all those who say Iroha is a bad character, I say square up, come fight us then. My maid will whip your samurai into submission. Bring it, son! Okay, so let's go ahead and rate this waifu, shall we? Iroha gets 3 points for thickness galore. 1 point for lore and cultural reference, 2 points for being able to go off and make her own game, along with be a guest in multiple others, 3 points for fighting style, 1 point for overall design, and 2 points for starting fighting game controversy and pissing off uptight fans.
Priceless.
But she is a crane, which makes her not exactly fully a waifu, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off 2 points for bestiality. That's not cool, man. This leaves Iroha with a 10 on the boner scale, making her waifu material and in the category of best girl, which is good because I'm sure Iroha wouldn't have it any other way. Displeasing her master would make her super sad, and I'm not in the business of making waifus cry. Well, good waifus anyway. If you want to experience the waifu for yourself, Samurai Shodown is available on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video if you liked it, or dislike it if you didn't like it, and leave a comment down below to join in the discussion in the comments. Also, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. If you do, I promise we won't tear you to shreds when the Armageddon comes. Check out some of my other videos as well. They were fun to make. Don't bust that nut. I'll be back again with yet another waifu review. Don't bust that nut. I'll be back with yet another waifu review. Iroha? God damn it. Iroha! Okay, let's try this again. Don't bust that nut. I'll be back again with yet another waifu review.